With Doctor Who coming to Disney Plus in 2023, what can this mean for the future of the show? Does it mean shows like Torchwood could potentially return? Welcome to SciTrek, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. So as you know, I made a video last week on Doctor Who, basically telling you about the fact that it's going to be on Disney Plus in 2023. Now, I've been thinking, does this mean that we're going to potentially be getting some spin-off series as a result of this? Now, there is some logic behind why I think this, but honestly, I absolutely hope we do. You may have already seen my YouTube short where I basically posited the question, will we get spin-off series as a result of the Disney Plus and BBC partnership? And I've been really thinking about this because honestly, I think it's just such a no-brainer to have more spin-off series and expand the Doctor Who universe. Think about it. Disney love a universe. Think about what happened with Marvel. They extended the Marvel universe into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which then had TV shows and movies and massive, huge crossover events such as Infinity War and Endgame. Those were absolutely amazing, and lots of other properties are actually doing something very similar now. But how is that going to work with a property like Doctor Who, who historically have only had a handful of spin-off shows? What have we had so far? We've had Torchwood, we've had the Adventures of K9 back in the day. We had the Sarah Jane Adventures for CBBC, the kids show, and we had Class, which was aimed at a younger audience, trying to get them into Doctor Who as well. There were a few unofficial spin-offs, like we had the Peter Cushing Doctor Who movies, and a handful of parodies for things like Comic Relief. You can consider those spin-offs in a way. But I think there could be so much more done with Doctor Who. It's such a huge and vast universe. Think about Torchwood, for example. Torchwood was a fantastic show. It was tailored to a much older audience. It was basically Doctor Who for adults, and it was absolutely fantastic. If it was ever going to come back, I would be absolutely ecstatic. If John Barrowman came back to reclaim his role as Captain Jack Harkness, yes, fantastic, do it. I would like to see that on my screen yesterday. Make it happen. But here's how I think it could actually work. So we could have a few spin-off series running concurrently to Doctor Who, and it would all be distributed through Disney Plus. So we could have a new series of Torchwood, for example, which could run kind of at the same time as Doctor Who, maybe earlier on in the year or later on in the year, depending on when Doctor Who is going to fall in their schedule. We could have a kids version of Doctor Who, much like the Sarah Jane Adventures, running on the kids side of Disney Plus, on Disney Kids. But for the main fans, for the people who have grown up watching Doctor Who like me, we can have more series. We can have a series based on Missy, the Master. We can have a series based on the adventures of the Master / Missy, which would be absolutely fantastic. There could be a much more serious drama centered around Unit HQ. There could be stories for characters that we haven't seen in a long time. We could see stories about the Time War. Companions of old could come back and have their own shows. Because we know that what happens when you travel with the Doctor, as soon as you leave, that adventure doesn't leave. And those companions go on to do amazing things, but we never actually get to see them. This gives the opportunity to make it so we can finally see what happens when you leave the Doctor. Going back to the idea of a series about the Time War, we could potentially have a series leading up to that, starring Paul McGann, who, in fairness, never got his fair chance at being the Doctor. He had one movie in the 90s. He was the Doctor in the Doctor Who movie, and since then he's only had 2 appearances, one in Night of the Doctor and the second appearance in the very recent Power of the Doctor. But we've never had him as the Doctor, an actual adventure. And I'm discounting Big Finish audiobooks here because I'm just speaking primarily about things that we see on screen. Paul McGann does have now a series of him, as the Doctor in audio form, which is great, but I want to see it on the screen. We can have one-off specials as well, very much like what we had with Torchwood, where we had Miracle Day, which was a fantastic one-off special. Actually, the very, very last time we ever saw Torchwood. which always makes me sad and is one of the reasons why I want Torchwood to come back. But you know how they had Miracle Day as one cohesive story, and then more recently they've had Flux. They could do that with lots and lots of different series going on and all interconnecting and being part of the same universe, and I think it would be absolutely fantastic. But you know what I think would be even better than having spin-off series? Having all of those, but also finally getting a proper high budget Doctor Who movie using the same actors, not doing what DC do where they have a TV show full of actors and then the movie is separate actors. No, the same actors in a movie, a Doctor Who movie released in the cinemas, not for a special like the 50th anniversary was, a full-fledged cinema release would be absolutely fantastic, and it would be something that would absolutely make my life. I've never seen Doctor Who on the big screen. I had the chance to see it in the on the 50th anniversary special, and I didn't go. But I would absolutely love to see it, because for me, Doctor Who is up there with the greatest science fiction television shows of all time. Doctor Who is up there with things like Star Wars and Stargate for me. Doctor Who is up there with like Star Trek. It could be as good if it was made into a movie. And now that Disney is invested in it as well, and there's going to be investments from them to give higher production costs and things like that, the future of Doctor Who is looking so bright, and I'm super excited about it. But what I really want to know is what you think. Do you like any of the ideas that I've said? Do you agree with me that this would be amazing, or do you think it would kill Doctor Who? Let me know what you think, and if you are new to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and whilst you're down there, hit the bell notification so you don't miss a single video. Also, consider becoming a fully fledged SciTrekker by pressing the join button down below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Stay safe, and I will see you next week.